Everyone. I want to start off with a question, and then I'm going to have a little story for the next 15 minutes. Who in the room likes to ride bikes? Put your hands up. About half the room. Right? Anyone had ever had the experience with a backward bike? Anyone heard of a backward bike? No? All right, this story is for you, for all of you in the room then. All right, who knows this guy? Anyone? Anyone on YouTube? No? Sorry, I can't see with the things. This guy's name is Destin Sandlin. He's a rocket engineer or a rocket, whatever, scientist. But then he switched career and he started a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is called Smarter Every Day. I haven't heard of it until a few weeks ago, until Hedna asked me to speak last Friday. Dustin, a couple of years ago, he has some good friends, and those friends are a little bit nerdy. And a couple of years ago, his friends decided to play a joke on him. And they built what they call the backward bike. And the backward bike basically is you turn the handle right, the bike goes left, and vice versa. So anyone who's ever ridden a bike, or ridden a bike? Sorry, my Austrian accent. Anyone's ever ridden a bike knows how probably difficult that is to change from a real bike to a backward bike. And this is what happened to Dustin the first time he was riding the bike. Not very successfully. How long do you think it took Dustin to ride the backward bike forward? Let's put it that way. Dustin trained every single day for 8 months to learn how to ride the backward bike. And not just that, when he tried to get back on a real bike, it took him about 25 minutes for his brain to click back and ride the real bike different than the backward bike. So we've all been in a period of riding our bikes backwards, so to speak, over the last couple of years. We've all been forced to unlearn a lot of things over the last couple of years. And we're going to continue through this experience of great unlearning over the next few years, as we have a lot of things that are accelerating in our industry and beyond our industry. There's 3 big shifts, 3 big areas that we've all had to unlearn in since 2019. One is work. I think we all kind of looked like this when we went to our offices the first time in 2022. Like, what is this? What am I supposed to do here? So work is the first big unlearning that we had to do, going remote, using our computers, getting on Teams, on Zoom. What else there? WebEx? Anyone still using WebEx? I don't know. The second one is how we shop. Somebody over lunch was telling me McDonald's now has 75% of their orders online or done online. 75% of the McDonald's orders are done online versus 100% probably a few years ago being in real life or face-to-face. So how we shop has completely changed, and how we interact has completely changed, and it continues to change. I read a study last week that the average time of interaction between friends for the younger generation has decreased from 6 hours per week to 2 hours per week. So people have shifted their behaviors, probably 20, 25-year-olds, shifted their behaviors from hanging out with their friends 6 hours a week to 2 hours a week. It's a massive shift in how we interact with each other. So we have to unlearn all these things, just like Daniel had to unlearn how to ride a bike when he tried to do the backwards bike. The same is true for travelers. As we travel, we work differently, be leisure or bleisure. We shop differently. We use our devices much more to book travel, interact with travel providers, suppliers, anyone in the room here. And that means also how we engage with customers is changing very rapidly. And it's going to accelerate how we interact with them. I've used this slide a couple times over the last few years, but I think it's never been more relevant than now. Great companies challenge, or the greatest challenge actually to companies is not to understand the competitors, but it's understand customers. And this was actually written by the Harvard Business Review in 2016. And today it's probably more relevant than ever. We talk about pleasure, we talk about the acceleration of the middle income and how people continue to have disposable income that they're going to spend on travel. 2 interesting statistics over the next, I think, 15 years or so. 3 billion people will reach middle class in the world, which means they will have disposable income that they typically use for travel. Second statistic, McKinsey did a survey last year and asked about 1,000 people, if you would win $10,000 in the lottery, where would you spend it? Travel was the second item on the list after paying off debt, not alcohol and tobacco like we heard this morning. Second item, $1,700 out of the $10,000 that they would gain or win in the lottery would be spent on travel. So the overall long-term future of travel is extremely positive, extremely bullish. We can all be happy to be in this industry because even though there might be a recession this year, right, Matt? Maybe, or certainly over the next few years, the trend will continue to go up. So what does that mean for all of us, and how does that impact us? I think there's three huge trends that are going to have an impact on, or continuing to have an impact, and will accelerate how we behave. And we have to unlearn a lot of the old behaviors in order to be prepared and stay relevant for, to be able to take advantage of those three trends. The first one, digitization. Everything is becoming digital. The way we interact is digital, as I mentioned. The way we use our technology is capturing more and more data. If you would have told me 10 years ago that I can speak into my phone, and my phone would, and tell the phone, please turn the light on in my house, and within 1 second, the phone would tell me that my lights are on in the house, you would have told me I would be crazy. Well, 10 years ago, Siri was launched, and today, every day, I tell my phone, turn the lights on, open the door, and within a second, the phone tells me, no matter where I am in the world, that my door is open, my door is closed, my lights are on, my lights are off. Digitization generates a huge amount of data that we all need to absorb and work with. The second one is personalization. If we capture all that data, why isn't the system telling me, if I turn the lights on every day at sunset, why isn't the system automatically turning the lights on for me every day at sunset? Well, I've actually programmed my lights now to turn on at sunset every day, so they are personalized to my behaviors. Some of you might be asking why I'm wearing these funky, flashy shoes. Well, these are personalized Ideas shoes that Nike built for me, that I ordered online to the Ideas colors, specific to my preferences. We're all becoming more and more personalized in our experiences and in our demands as well. And the third one, merchandising. Once you have all the data, once you know who people are, then you can sell them a lot of other stuff. And Saber did a great presentation yesterday about how we're going to be able to sell anything, everywhere, anytime, in a hotel and beyond the hotel building. Merchandising, the third big area. And if you're not all thinking about digitization, personalization, and merchandising, there is a risk that we all become irrelevant in the next few years. The underpinning of all of that is data, a huge amount of data. We at Ideas make 10 billion pricing decisions every single day. A typical hotel makes about 5 million pricing decisions every year. Can a human ever make 5 million pricing decisions every year? No. So what you need is automation on top that manages the entire flow from digitization, personalization, merchandising. Capture the data, understand the data, automate the output, automate decisions. Some research data to back all that up. Don't just take me for my word. Oracle, Sabre, Skift do a lot of research on that. I know Stripe's doing a bunch of research on that. OTAs constantly publish information. We hear consistently that customers can spend more, they want to spend more, they want to have a personalized experience, and if they don't, they go somewhere else, switch to another provider. And you can look up, there's much more data out there where this comes from. But on the flip side, if you ask people, if you want a full package experience that includes everything, where would you buy them from? The majority of customers still talks about OTAs, 43.7% would buy a package experience from the OTAs, 27% from hotels, and 16% from airlines. I think this is data from 2022, so not that old. So in the hotel industry, while great for the OTAs in the room, thank you very much, as an industry, as a hotel industry, we still have a gap, we still have an opportunity to move from 27 to 40 to 50%. Think about the packaging opportunities, the merchandising opportunities that we all have in hotels. On the executive side or on the internal side, just two quick statistics. Acceleration is happening, and acceleration is happening not just in how we sell rooms, but how we sell anything else that a hotel wants to sell. 80% of hospitality tech decision makers say that COVID has accelerated their journey towards digitization, personalization, merchandising. We've seen that firsthand. I think I shared with someone over lunch. In June 2020, we got the first call from one of the big hotel companies asking us, how can we invest more? How can we do more? How can we accelerate innovation? Can we do something together that will create a significant difference for the hotel industry when business comes back? And how do we transform our technology stack? And there's been a huge shift in technology over the last couple of years in the hotel industry, with the smartest, most innovative companies investing millions of dollars to make that transition. And the transition is happening not just on revenue management, it's happening at the profit level, where we obviously need to look at the rooms revenue and the costs, and not just for the individual guests, but also for rooms like this, or hotels like this, that have a lot of ancillary revenue opportunities. So obviously, ideas, we also had to unlearn a lot of things. Traditionally, we would have revenue managers at a hotel or at a corporate office. Traditionally, we would have people sitting in front of a desk. Traditionally, we would have people interacting with revenue management systems and people. We had to unlearn of how to do all that. So over the last 3 years, we built something new. We built a system that actually tells the revenue manager what's going on proactively. It lives in the palm of your hand. It doesn't require someone to sit in front of the desk. It doesn't even require a revenue manager. It just requires somebody at a hotel or at the corporate office to understand, to understand what's, there's supposed to be an animation somewhere. One more slide. I have this cool animation. There you go. So it lives in the palm of your hand. It doesn't require any interaction. It just tells you what's going on at the hotel. And if you need to do anything, it will also tell you what you're supposed to do. So this is a real-life example. This is not vaporware. We built this in 2019, 2020. By the end of this year, 10,000 hotels will have this in the palm of their hand. It's the power of pricing, of revenue management, not for a revenue manager, but for a general manager or somebody at a hotel that needs to run around, fix things, check in people, check out people on a daily basis. And I can't wait for that Taylor Swift concert in June. So what we wanted to create, or what is necessary, or what is the future, is not somebody sitting in front of the desk, but somebody is having their phone or somebody having their watch, and the watch telling them something is happening at the hotel. You need to make sure that you're aware of it, or if something needs to be changed, you need to be aware of what has to be changed. So as you're thinking about unlearning and relearning and all these things I'm throwing at you, there's 3 things that you should be doing. You should to recognize, first of all, the change is happening, and I can promise you change is happening. You need to reorganize your thoughts and your priorities and your strategies. You need to recognize that the old things just don't work anymore. Don't wear your old shoes. I'm wearing these the first time this year, or actually ever. And then third, reinforce the new learnings. If you can just do one thing different every day, that'll go a long way to learn how to ride the backwards bike. Thank you very much. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I hope you have a good afternoon.